An unconditional money-back guaranteed gift as unforgettable as he is. Visit omahasteaks.com, code QUALITY at checkout.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WNSR. They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by its doctors, Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. I was sent Relief Factor for me to try. I've been taking it every single day, and I do feel the difference. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Thursday afternoon to you. And yes, it is time for the McFarland Show. Hope everyone is having a great day and enjoying unbelievable weather here in Middle Tennessee. We are the McFarlands, Darren and Justin, live in the Strikers Bear Family Fun Center studio. DJ Damon is alongside for the ride for the next 2 hours. 615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. That's how you get in touch with us. Also, you can watch the show. We look pretty darn good every day on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Justin, how we doing?
Doing fine, having some fun with the camera there. But no, everything is good. Low humidity over the next few days, so enjoy it now.
It is so nice.
The sauna is coming back, everybody, okay? So you did not move to San Diego, okay? The sauna will be returning.
We had baseball practice last night, and it was incredibly comfortable.
Yes.
And for some people, it was cool on the cool side. Not me.
Yeah.
As you guys know. Damon's always in 4 layers of clothes. He would have been cool.
I'm shocked to hear you say that. Actually.
No, I didn't say it. I didn't
I'm just
say
saying
it.
that you said
I
it was
said
cool.
Some. No,
Oh,
I didn't.
Okay.
You're not listening to me. I said some people.
Some people.
Dare I say, would say it was
some
actually cool. Some. I didn't say Darren.
He was not among the some.
I was not a part of the some.
Oh, okay.
But some would say it was cool last night. And so, what do we have? A couple more days of this, or
yeah, Saturday is when it starts.
And then you're going to say we get popped in the nose
when they're going to turn up the sauna. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And the sauna is coming back.
Did you notice the cicadas are quiet?
Don't jinx it. Please
Quieter.
Don't jinx it.
Quieter.
Don't jinx
not quiet. They're not quiet.
Yeah.
Quieter.
We're ready, more than ready for them to get on out of here.
Few more weeks.
Go on.
Almost.
Go on now.
Yeah.
You get out of here now. Don't come back.
17
years.
17 years.
I don't think that's going to work.
No?
No, they have
can't
schedule.
Can't give them a speech?
They have a schedule. They're going to keep it, okay?
Yeah. They're coming back
All right.
again.
We'll compromise. We'll see you in 13. Okay?
There's a group that does
Take
that
it
as well.
or leave it.
There's a group that does that as well. There's a 13-year and a 17-year group.
What was going on Vanderbilt's campus today?
Yeah, so they had a little bit of a scare earlier this morning. there was a small gas leak. That actually wasn't that small. It was a rather large gas leak that took place, just to be honest with you, over there on the campus. A construction crew, as you know, they're doing a lot of construction over there at Vanderbilt. They hit a gas line, caused a leak. They had to evacuate a couple of buildings, including the tennis center. One of the football facilities had to be evacuated as well. It was all staff, no students on campus from what we were told. So it's everybody involved that had to leave was all staff members.
Okay.
The football team was scheduled to do something later in the day, but not at that time. And so, everything is safe now. They've been able to get everything back in order. Nobody had to be taken to the hospital, but, it was a little hairy for a little bit. This was very close from what we were told, and I was not on scene, but I was told it was closer to the baseball stadium than it was the football stadium there on Jess Neely.
Okay.
So over there on that, but closer to the baseball side of things.
So the building across the street from the Hawkins Field?
Yes. Well, that's McDougan Center. Are you talking about there?
McGugan, yeah.
McGugan.
And we used to be the place. That's right. We used to be the place where we would go in there and have a nice lunch in their cafeteria.
Yes.
I know all that's changed, but
yes, it has.
So that building was affected?
Well, yes, that was one of the buildings that people had to come out of, from my understanding. But what I don't know is exactly what they were working on that the crew hit the line.
Okay. That
things went awry. But again, it was a short period of time. Everybody's fine. Just a small scare. Of course, it happens. But students are not on campus right now. It's the summer officially but you have some students always on campus, but not as many as there could have been for sure.
Yeah. Let's go to Ottawa, Tennessee.
Ottawa,
where Nate is standing by. Nate, what's up?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
I know you're not in Ottawa, but I know you were raised in Ottawa.
Ottawa.
Yes, sir. And I was a little confused when you said that, but then I was like, oh, yeah, the other day.
Yeah.
But, Darren, I'm sure you know exactly what I want to talk about.
Major League Baseball?
Yep.
Oh.
Because
okay.
I sent you and Justin the Juan Soto call from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I actually went up to I went to MLB.com to see what basically, I guess, the definition or the rules are for runner interference. And part of this definition says a runner is not obligated to vacate a base. He is legally permitted to occupy to allow a defender to space to field a batted or thrown ball in the proximity of said base. Now, when I watch the video, I see Juan Soto, veering off the path so he doesn't hit the fielder who's trying to catch the ball. So what is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to go outside the baseline to be called out anyways, to go all the way around 2 feet, 12 feet outside the bag to touch it on the other side, and then probably get called out anyways because they were going to catch the ball and step on the bag? And we also have the infield fly rule where that probably should have been called. So
they are being called. The infield fly rule. So we've had two. By the way, there was also something, I don't know if it was last night or the night before. Did you guys see the Guardians game to play at first?
No, I did not see that.
I don't know where we're getting all this interference stuff. I don't understand it. We talked about on the show, the egregious ending to the Chicago-Baltimore game in Chicago. Almost the same exact play.
It was worse, though. It was worse.
It was worse than the Soto. You're right. It was worse. It's one of the most egregious calls I've ever seen. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then you turn around and was the Soto last night or the night before? Yeah, last night. And it's almost the same play, almost a little bit different. But yeah, I don't know. I'm at a loss. I don't remember this being the case in Major League Baseball where we had all this infield fly rule followed by interference turning into double plays. I don't know what these runners are supposed to do. I really don't. And I don't know, has this season been a point of emphasis to start calling that? I don't remember this being a thing in Major League Baseball in the past.
Yeah, I don't either. And it just seems like it's coming up more and more this season, and I don't understand it because, I mean, obviously we know what runner interference is. And there are, yes, sometimes gray rules or gray plays, just like in or out of the crease for goalie interference, and apparently that doesn't matter, but who knows? I like you said, Darren, I don't know what we're doing. It's almost like it's a catch, is it not a catch?
I don't, honestly, I don't know. I really don't. I am perplexed at the chain of events in Major League Baseball in the last week. By the way, I can show you guys all. I can post it, Nate, so you can see it. Justin, I can show you during the break. I think it was the Guardians game last night. The play at first, like, I don't get it. I don't understand how you call the runner out on that play. I don't know what he's supposed to do unless this is like the clear. This is a play that clearly states what I've been saying. Maybe we just need to do what the SEC just did this past week. Maybe we just need to have two bags at first. I mean, I don't know what else the runner's supposed to do.
Yeah.
The only other thing I can think of is maybe the MLB saw all the controversy with the NFL and the NHL with the catch and the goalie interference calls. Maybe they thought this week, hey, we need to be more in a conversation. We need to have a little controversy, so they called up all the official or all the umps, and yeah, so conspiracy
went that route.
Yeah, I don't know if the commissioner of baseball is that smart. If you heard Chris Domino yesterday, he certainly didn't give a lot of props. To the commissioner. In fact, he called him, I think, AI.
Not a fan.
Yeah, I think he thinks he's a robot.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah,
he doesn't exist.
But all right, guys. Well, I guess we'll see what happens this weekend or next week.
Yeah, we really cleared that up for you, Nate. Look, I don't know what to say. I don't.
No, I don't either. But thank you, Nate, for the phone call. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, y'all have a good one.
So the thing about some of that is and I'm just thinking about in the fly rule here in my mind and how that goes 9 times out of 10. What I was a little confused about with the Soto call last night is why didn't he go back to second sooner? Did he not know where the ball was? I mean, the ball was, how far away from the base was he that he didn't get? Because normally what happens in a lot of cases is the runner is back to the bag far before the ball ever comes down. And so normally there's enough time for the runner to get out of the way.
He's taking his time, but he also knows it's an infield fly rule. So he's like, what's the I'm not tagging.
Yeah.
This play is going to happen right here at second base. So I'm not going anywhere. They're calling an infield fly rule. So Soto's just taking his sweet time getting back. Because it's not a tag situation.
I understand. I just, but that's the only thing I can think of is, well, he's not out of the way soon enough for the ball to come down, where normally the runner would be out of the way 9 times out of 10. So this was not even an issue.
I'm not sure he could. Doesn't the catch happen right at second base?
The catch happens very close to second base. It does.
I mean, I don't know where he's supposed to go.
But even to Nate's point, reading the rule, the runner has the right to occupy the bag. Well, the problem is the runner had left the bag. So if the runner had the right to occupy the bag, then that would assume the runner was at the bag to begin with. The runner was not at the bag. The runner was away from the bag and trying to get back to said bag. So, now we're talking about path at this point, not necessarily the runner being at the bag. If the runner was at the bag and then the ball is hit, I understand. But if the runner wasn't at the bag, he was trying to get back there, but he wasn't there. So now what are we talking about? We're just talking about the actual path. And for Nate's point about the crease, well, that's also a judgment call. I find it hard to believe that the umpire was going to call him out for being outside the crease unless he went way around. And listen, you're the teacher in this case. You literally teach baseball to a lot of kids. I was told that the crease is basically in the dirt. As long as you stay in the dirt, you're okay. When you start getting into the grass and places like that is when you start to get in trouble. But if you're in the dirt and, he's well in the dirt at that point, then, there's space to get back in the bag. So what is the crease then? Like, what is going outside the path?
The baseline.
The baseline. What is the rule there?
The imaginary baseline.
My point.
Yeah.
It's an imaginary baseline to begin with. So yeah, he could have gone a little wider and got back to the bag. Did he have to do that? Well, apparently Major League Baseball or the umpire felt like he did. He should have taken a wider path back to the base.
I just think it's silly to be calling this interference when the infield fly rule. I mean, I don't know why we feel the need to call this interference call when the catches are being made.
Well, you listen. I'm pointing this out because you literally teach 8, 9, and 10-year-olds. What do you teach them about the rule? What's the rule? If you're teaching a kid who's 8 and 9 about the rule when there's a pop fly in the infield, what do you tell them?
Well, I mean, yeah, they're supposed to get back. Look, what these runners are doing, I don't know how you teach anything other than that. I mean, again, the Chicago-Baltimore one, we should just probably leave out of the discussion.
That's ridiculous, and that's not a call.
He's watching the ball in the air
silly.
and just
it's
making
silly.
his way back to second. He's not. He has no idea where the shortstop or the second baseman. I don't know. I think it was the shortstop.
I think it's shortstop.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think it was the shortstop. He has no awareness of where he's just watching the ball in the air going back to the base.
Yeah.
He did nothing to try to
there was no contact.
Mess up.
He didn't even touch him.
No, he didn't. It wasn't trying to mess the play up.
And the guy caught the ball, didn't he? He caught the ball.
Yeah.
There's no. I mean, last night's a little different in that there was contact, and the
it was a little bit trickier situation.
Didn't actually catch the ball. Like he missed the ball. So I mean, there's a difference between those two plays.
Did he end up dropping it?
That's what I remember.
I don't remember.
That's what I remember. Now, if he didn't, I'm sorry, but that's I thought the ball hit the ground there. But it's to me they're very very different calls. And I don't know.
You're right. He did. He missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me that's what makes the two plays, the Chicago play and the Soto play, so different. In that in Chicago, there was no contact between the runner and the infielder, and he actually caught the ball. Last night, there was contact between the runner and the infielder, and he dropped the ball.
I would say this. I don't have a problem with what Soto did, but I will say this. If you make contact and then they miss the ball, you should expect that call to be made. And I'm not saying it's right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, gosh, I even hate saying this, but I have to have these talk with these kids trying to be real with them.
Yes.
Look, even if you slid under the tag, okay, and you were safe, probably if the ball beats you there and you're sliding into the glove, more times than not, 9 out of 10, they're going to call you out.
They are.
Even if you do a great job of sliding under the tag or around the tag, whatever you did, and you were probably safe or you were safe, you're probably not going to get the call.
Yeah.
And I didn't say it's right. I didn't say it's fair.
Yeah.
I didn't say I agree with it. I'm just saying you got to understand that call's going to be made 9 out of 10 times. You're out. In this particular case, if you make contact and the player misses the ball, whether it really had to do with your contact or not, just expect that interference call to be called. I don't. That's redundant. That interference play to be called.
Yeah. No,
That's all I'm saying. Just expect it. I didn't say it was right.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was, I agree. I'm just saying you should expect that to happen.
I guess you're putting the lesson in both of these is you're putting the onus on the runner to get out of the way. Like really out of the way. That's the lesson here. You're putting the onus on the runner to get out of the way. Same thing with players on the return in the NFL and the punts. You put the onus on the tackler not to make the contact. It's on him, not on the receiver. On the punts, it's on the tackler not to make the contact, not to be in the way, not to be in the halo area.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back. We'll switch gears. Bring in our guy Alex Doherty from the Tennessean who covers the Predators. We'll get his opinion on Mitch Korn being brought back into the mix and a lot more. We'll do that next here on the McFarland Show, WNSR.
And now, Caesar's Plumbing and Mechanical is reminding motorists to slow down on our roadways, keep an eye out for kids at play, and never text and drive. This message brought to you by veteran-owned and operated Caesar's Plumbing and Mechanical, LLC, serving up to a 50-mile radius from Nashville. For residential or commercial septic and plumbing installations, repairs, service, and construction, give the pros a call today and ask about their veteran and first responder discount, 615-295-5359, 615-295-5359, or visit CaesarsPlumbing.com. That's Caesar's Plumbing and Mechanical, LLC. They're professionals who care.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you could save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Clarksville Electric Service is on the air reminding all motorists to slow down in residential neighborhoods and school zones. Never text and drive, and always designate a driver when celebrating. This message is courtesy of Clarksville Electric Service, serving Clarksville, Tennessee for over 10 years. For commercial and residential installs and maintenance, call Clarksville Electric Service today at 931-614-0186, 931-614-0186, or visit ClarksvilleElectricService.com.
We're talking to Nick Casario. I'm not sure how much you're willing to divulge in terms of the trade for Stephon Diggs, but how did that deal go down?
It wasn't something that we necessarily had on the radar. It wasn't necessarily something I think Buffalo was necessarily shopping. At some point, we felt there was an opportunity for us. I think if you look around the league, just teams are more open-minded. In the end, every team has to do what they feel is in their best interest. And in the end, we were able to work out an agreement with Steph and get him on the team.
Jim Rome is here weekdays 11 to 2 on Nashville Sports Radio, WNSR.
Give us a call, 615-844-5600. The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
We're live in the Strikers Bear Family Fun Center studio on this gorgeous Thursday afternoon. Hope everybody's having a great day. Darren and Justin here with you. Big shout out to my buddy Eric, listening in North Carolina. Actually, he's watching. Made a comment about my gray hair. I didn't appreciate that.
Hi, Eric.
He would get along with intern Alec quite well. He would get along with Dr. Detroit quite well.
Michigan folks.
He is a Motor City Kitty fan through and through.
All right.
Okay. Through and through.
Through and through.
Yeah. So he's got huge expectations.
Let's say my condolences.
For the Motor City Kitties this year.
Hey, hope springs eternal.
He is fully on the bandwagon.
Hey, why not? You know, it's got to happen.
You're
at
still
some
not
point,
a believer, are you?
It's got to happen at some point, I guess. Sure. We'll see.
Well, it kind of did last year a little bit.
What happened last year?
Well, they got to the NFC Championship game.
They'd never done that before?
Well, not really. Once.
No, but they have done that before.
Few and far between.
So what you're saying is nothing really happened last year that hadn't happened before in their history.
Wow. Okay, you're going to do that.
Okay.
You just ruined, trying to say a nice thing about somebody listening in North Carolina.
Hey, listen, thank you, sir.
Just threw a Baby Ruth right in the punch bowl.
I didn't do anything. You're the one who baited me. You baited me right over there and dared me to do it, not just did what I normally do. It's your fault. Put me over there.
All right, let's switch gears. Let's bring in our guy, Alex Doherty from the Tennessee. And Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
I don't want to pat myself on the back, but here goes. I guess I'm going to. I told you they were going to keep you busy this offseason. I told you it wouldn't be quiet.
That's right. Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a lot more coming, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt. Real quick, let's go down on the farm. We don't do that much at all on this show, but I think it warrants because I really like this guy. I've made this abundantly clear over the years. I'm a huge fan of Igor Afanasyev, who's having quite a success right now. What do you think ultimately what is he in their system, in your opinion? Good enough, not good enough at the NHL level on a regular basis?
Yeah, I think you're probably not going to like my answer.
Oh, man. Another Baby Ruth in the punch bowl. Here we go.
Obviously, he's a great guy. Everyone likes being around him. He's a big guy, too, and I think that's important, 6'4", 212. But, I think the problem is, for as big as he is, he doesn't make as big of an impact physically as you would want. And the upside offensively is just not – I don't think it's there at the NHL level. But I think that he's still growing. I mean, he's still got a chance to players are not – he's 23, so if he was going to make a huge leap, he would have done it by now. But there's plenty of guys that are late bloomers in the NHL. Tommy Novak is a good example. I mean, he didn't really make it until 25, so he can still grow into that. The only problem is there have been rumblings about him going back to Russia.
Oh, really?
And so, yeah, there've been some rumblings about that maybe since he's not stuck at the NHL level yet, that he wants to play, he maybe wants to play where he wants to play. So,
he wants to make more money, probably too.
He'd make more money, and that's just something that comes with the territory when you draft Russian players. I mean, that's always in the back of your mind. So obviously that hasn't happened yet. That's just rumors right now. But I think he's a good prospect. I think he just hasn't developed. He scored a lot of goals at the AHL level this year. I mean, 27 goals in 56 games. That's not bad. But if you look at those goals, he hasn't scored a lot of goals that make you think that he could do that on NHL goaltending. Compare him to a guy like Joachim Kimmel or Zach LaRue, who those guys have.
Okay, that's where I'm going next.
Yeah. Okay. Just to get there, I think those guys are doing it in different ways. Like Afanasyev, he's got some great skill. I just don't think that what I've seen from I've watched quite a few Admirals games, and I've watched him specifically. I just don't see it quite yet, but he could definitely prove me wrong.
All right, so there's one of my crushes, strike one from Alex Doherty. Here's one of my other crushes, Zachary LaRue. Whenever they drafted him, I like his swag. I like what he brings to the table. I know sometimes he goes too far, but I love that. I don't think the Predators, they could use a pot stir. I almost messed up there. A pot stir like Zachary LaRue. All right, what say you about him? Does he have NHL material on a full-time basis or no?
Definitely. I think he definitely does. I think he's in Nashville maybe for a significant amount of time next year. Maybe even makes the team out of camp. I mean,
really? Okay.
The thing with Zach LaRue is, yes, the penalties are frustrating, and he's got 109, almost 200 penalty minutes, 66 AHL games, including almost 50 in the playoffs. I mean, the guy, and a lot of those are majors, a lot of those are game misconducts and stuff, but I mean, the guy does go to the box a lot. But here's the thing, and this is where I would put Zach LaRue. Andrew Burnett, consistently with these young players, he wants guys that he can put in any situation. And Zach LaRue plays great 5-on-5 hockey. He can play on the power play. He can play on the penalty kill. He can put him out there on 4-on-4. He's such a versatile guy for his kind of small as he is. I mean, he's not a big guy, 5'11", but I think he would be someone that Andrew Burnett would be willing to give chances to. I also think that he's got a lot more skill than people give him credit for. I mean, he led the team in scoring. He's got a knack for big moments too, and he's been consistently that way. Zach LaRue, especially with whatever they do with Keeper Sherwood, I think Zach LaRue is on the team next year in Nashville.
Okay, your thoughts before I give you mine on Mitch, the announcement yesterday that Mitch Korn is coming back to the Predators organization, overseeing the goaltending department.
Yeah, I think it's just we should have seen it coming, I guess. I mean, the history of Barry Trotz and Mitch Korn, and Mitch Korn had a contract with New York, and that had to run out, and then now he's here. So he's basically followed Barry Trotz everywhere he's been since 1998. He's an incredible presence in the goaltending world of the NHL. I mean, he's overseen Dominik Hasek and Pekka Rinne and Ilya Sorokin and all kinds of players. I mean, Braden Holtby, like Vezina trophies, top 3 goaltenders pretty much every year he's in the league. So, it makes sense to have him around. I think the real key is that they're not changing anything really. Outside of adding him, they're not changing anything. So Ben Vanderklok's still here. Pekka Rinne is still in Europe. Jason Barron's still in Milwaukee. They're not really changing anything. They're just adding someone. I think there's nothing wrong with that.
But he's going to be the boss, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's going to be in charge from the top down. But I don't think he would come in and just tell them how to change things. And I think it's another brilliant goaltending mind in the room. Just keep that arm of the organization strong.
Have you ever met Mitch?
I have not. So I've heard a lot about him. I started covering the team. I started covering the team the Peter Laviolette's first year. So right after Barry Trotz left and Mitch Korn followed him.
You're gonna like him. You're gonna like him.
I know. I've heard a lot of really good stories about him.
He used to get mad at me because I wouldn't invite him on the radio enough. That should sum it up for you. Like you're going to. Well, he's like Barry. He is not afraid of a microphone or a recorder. He will talk, man. He loves it.
What I heard is that he is the reason that the organization does not allow goaltending coaches to talk to the media.
Is that right? Is that what you've been told?
I mean, that's what I heard from someone else who's been covering the team for a very long time.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, Mitch Korn. I'm trying to think of the coaches that wanted to talk the most. Mitch Korn and Lane Lambert were the two that told me ask anytime and I'll come on. Those are. I mean, obviously Brent Peterson too. I forged a great relationship with Brent when he was an assistant. But you're gonna like Mitch Korn. He is quite the personality. All right, so
I do wonder if they're gonna let us talk to him because I just from what I've heard. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
That's interesting. Okay, so this is my assessment that I put out on the show yesterday. Look, we all know, you already said it, you summed it up, the history, him and Barry Trotz have been linked together for 25 years. So this should be to the surprise of no one that understands this organization. But what I see from this hire is Barry Trotz hiring a guy that he has done a whole lot of winning with over a quarter of a century and has had a whole lot of success in between the pipes with him overseeing those goaltenders. He is bringing in his guy to assess their goaltender situation and tell us as fast as you can, what do we have in particular in Askarov in Milwaukee? It kind of goes back to my first two questions, right? Real deal or not? Is he gonna be an NHL regular and a star? Is he gonna be the franchise goaltender or not? I need your eyeballs on him right now. I need him on him yesterday. Let's go. We need to figure out what we're doing moving forward. That's just my assessment. I think Mitch Korn is going to have a whole lot to do with how this goaltending situation plays out. Whether it's UC Saros for a long time and they get rid of Askarov, or it's Askarov and they trade UC Saros, in my opinion.
I think that's a great point, and I wish I had thought of it. I think you're absolutely right. That's got to be a part of it, and I would only add this season for UC Saros was really strange. It was a bizarre one, and I don't think a lot of people in that organization know exactly why he took such a step back in the regular season, and maybe even why he didn't really look great in the playoffs. I mean, he looked great in Game 6, but he didn't look great, the rest of the playoffs, and then in the regular season he had a down year. Like, why is that? And bringing him in to figure out officially what's going on there, it's as much about the UC Saros part as it is the Askarov part, and whether or not we should sign this guy from their perspective 8 years or trade him. So yeah, I think it's a great point.
How are they going to evaluate Askarov? in Milwaukee, or are they going to have to bring him here before they can get a full evaluation as to whether or not he's the guy?
So I do know this. Just while we're talking goaltending coaches, Ben Vanderklok has been in Milwaukee with this run. He's been with them. So Vanderklok, just for people who don't know, Ben Vanderklok took over whenever Mitch Korn left with Trotz to New York, to Washington. And he's been in the organization for a long time. He was a big part of Pekarine's, resurgence, and he's been a very, very good goaltending coach. But he's based in Nashville, so like in Milwaukee, they've had a number of guys over the years. Jason Barron's the one now, but Vanderklok is in Milwaukee now with the team, and actually, I guess he's in California with the team now because they're in the first Western Conference Final of the Calder Cup playoffs. And I think that's because they're still trying to evaluate him, and they want to see. He wants to see what this guy's made of. Now he got injured at the end of the last series, and so he can't look at him now. But he's already played a couple games in the NHL, so they have seen that. I think it's probably more evaluating where he's at mentally and like developing emotionally, like as a Russian kid who's 21 coming over to America or to North America and playing. That's probably more about what it is because they know what he can bring athletically. It's just that assessing where this 21-year-old kid is going to be in 5 years takes a lot of brain power. And so, like Darren said, I think getting Mitch Korn in the building and with Vanderklok there and Jason Barron, and then not to mention Pecorine in the organization as a development and scout, it's going to take a lot of that. But until you see the guy play, 40 games in a season, you won't really know. I mean, you just have to try it. And if they don't want to try it, if they're just going to stick with Saros, then they'll trade the Scaroff this offseason.
Okay. So if they make the decision that, we can't wait and risk trying to see him now, they'll trade him and just sign UC Saros here for the foreseeable, right, and just do it that way. Boy, that's I mean, I think that's the fork in the road. Maybe there's another option, but I think the fork in the road is it takes place this summer, and you got to choose it this summer. Because if you go into next season and you don't have Saros signed, and Askarov is still in Milwaukee, or even if they called him up and he's just back up in Nashville, I just don't think that's the best organizational way. I don't think that's the best asset management for the organization. Well, it would give you some time though to make an evaluation here in Nashville while you still have Saros on the roster, so that you don't do anything too hasty. Yes, sir.
I was just going to say, but then you're kind of stuck. Then you basically you either lose UC Saros for nothing, or his trade power, his trade value, I guess, goes way down because people just don't trade. Like goalies in the final year of their contract, who are going to be gone. It just doesn't. There's not a lot of teams that are just looking to get that one goalie for a rental at the trade deadline. So he just wouldn't go very much. They could still trade him, absolutely, but all of a sudden you're talking about a good prospect and a high draft pick for Saros would be a lot less at the trade deadline. Again, I don't know that they could make a fully informed decision either way right now. I mean, they have to just choose and figure out what possibly could be the best option. But if they do decide to do kind of what you're suggesting and keep Askarov and Saros on the roster next year, have Askarov in Nashville, they're probably going to have to start. It would have to be an even split in goal for the Predators' first half of the season. I mean, I'm talking every other game. Askarov starts, Saros starts. Askarov starts, Saros starts. So because otherwise, you just won't learn anything. I mean, and maybe even Saros doesn't start hardly at all. They just trade him early on. So it just, from an asset management standpoint, it just seems like you really got to make a move this summer.
I am burning to ask a question here, and Alex, I don't want to burn you journalistically, so there's part of me that doesn't want to ask you this at all because I understand you need to cover the team. So there's part of me that just thinks I don't want to ask because I like you, man. It's unfair. So I'm sorry I'm having this discussion out loud, and I probably shouldn't because I'm on the fence here. So let me ask Darren, and Alex, you can respond to it if you would want. That's the easiest way to do this. Darren, was this decision mismanaged because we're here and we don't have enough information to make a solid decision here about what they're doing. So was this decision all along just mismanaged that we got here in this particular scenario?
In what? I'm not sure I follow. What do you mean mismanaged?
If they do not have enough information on Askarov to decide whether or not they want to keep him or not long term, and they're still sitting on the fence about UC Saros, it would seem to me that you would have needed to have collected enough information to make a decision by now. So was the entire thing mismanaged in that we got here to this juncture and we still don't know?
Alex, I will real quick jump in. I'm gonna let you.
No.
Alex,
I need you to do because I don't want to burn Alex like this.
Alex is capable of handling this.
I'll definitely answer that. I want to hear Darren's response first.
I think one. Remember, the general manager today did not draft Askarov. Two, there's a bit of a philosophy difference. If you've talked to Barry Trotz and you've listened to Barry Trotz is absolutely in the camp of marinating guys down on the farm. He is not in the school of rushing them to the NHL. And remember, they drafted an 18-year-old. Everybody develops at a different time frame, right?
Okay.
Some guys are more equipped to go after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 6 years. I mean, unfortunately for them, most of their goaltenders, although Saros was young, Pekka was late. I mean, their guys were more later, right? They were older. And so Barry is all about down on the farm, learning the ropes through the system before turning you loose in the NHL. So I don't know. Mismanaged is not. I just think there's been a change. There's been a shift in management and people in place. And so that does tend to slow maybe the process down if that philosophy is different.
Yeah, I will add this: the league has changed as well.
Yes.
Even in the 5 years, even in the last 5 years, definitely the last 10 years, most of that was David Poile managing. Most of that was while David Poile was managing the team. The view of goaltending has just changed, and I think that when he made that when he made that draft pick to take Askarov, I think it was universally praised. I mean, people loved the pick. It was in 2020. That was the COVID draft, and the thought was it just made perfect sense. People were thought Rene's getting old. You got Saros here for the next 5-6 years. Either he's becomes the long-term guy or this new guy takes over. It was it was seen as, this is why David Poile does what he does, because he's really good at finding this sort of next goaltending. The goaltending path moves on for Nashville. But the league's view of goaltending has changed since then. I mean, the cup-winning goaltenders the last few years, Aiden Hill was last year. I mean, this year it's potentially going to be someone. I mean, like Jake Ottinger or Igor Shesterkin. I mean, those are good names. But there's been plenty of
Bobrovsky. So yeah, you're right. There's all good names. Other than Edmonton, yeah, 3 of the 4.
Definitely good names left, but I think there Darcy Kemper won it with the Colorado Avalanche. That was about how good the Avalanche were as a team offensively, not about Darcy Kemper. So the view of goaltending and its value has changed. Not to mention, there's more of a value on having 2 good goaltenders, not just one. So I don't think it's been mismanaged at all. I think it has been maybe the circumstances around everything. Around this goaltending situation have changed. Like Darren said, the general managers have changed, but the league itself has changed in terms of goaltending.
Yeah, I think that's about as good of an. Honestly, I think that's spot on. I agree with Alex's assessment, 100%. We've talked about it on the show.
Okay,
it's true. It's kind of like the running back situation. The league is just looking at the goaltender a little bit differently than they did a decade ago. A decade ago, if you had that number one guy, man. You were like, you ride that goaltender all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals,
Yeah.
Yeah, so. And David Poile, when he drafted Askarov, it was like, all right, well, we relied on Pekka Rinne to be a goaltender for 60 games a year, 60 to 65 games a year. But it's just not that league anymore. I mean,
and that's right. There's another good point. The starts are down, right? Pekka, those 62, 60 something starts. So I mean, those days are dwindling too, right? I mean, just the number one goalie or. The number one goalie just doesn't have the starts, kind of like the running back, the 25, 30 carries. Like those days are just kind of gone. Yeah. Alex, great stuff as always. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Keep up the good work. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, talk to you guys later.
Alex Doherty covers the Predators for the Tennessean. Take a quick break. Wide open the rest of the hour if you want to get involved. You're listening to the McFarland Show, WNSR.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. Package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. It's starleasing.com to learn more.
Your brain is an amazing thing. But as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, Prevagen has been shown to improve memory. A Pharmacy Times national survey of pharmacists rated Prevagen the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand for the 5th year in a row. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere without a prescription. Help your memory. Try Prevagen today. Prevagen. Healthier brain, better life. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-617-0239. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-617-0239. That's 800-617-0239. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's a Bill King Show.
We are college football centric. That is the sun that warms our planet that we live on. Our planet actually isn't flat or round. It's an oblong spheroid. And we are here to proselytize about it, edify it every day on this here radio show.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
5-state forecast.
Your exclusive national sports radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast for this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, the high 82. Mainly clear tonight, low 56. Friday, mostly sunny, high 82. Clouds and a few thunderstorms for Saturday. Utilizing the resources of the Weatherbug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
Text the Strike and Spare studio now at 615-844-5600. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
It's true, 615-844-5600. That's how you get in touch with us. Wide open the rest of the hour if you want to get involved. Braves back at it tonight at Truist Park. They are hosting the Nationals, and it'll be another 6:20 first pitch, 6:05 coverage right here on WNSR. So George Blaster and friends following this show until 6 o'clock, and then he'll turn things over to his beloved Bravos. Kerr versus Williams. Braves Nationals tonight. Good stuff from Alex Doherty. I always enjoy him coming on because it always leads to a really good conversation.
Yeah.
A really good hockey conversation.
And we were up against the break there, so I didn't want to continue to go here, but I do want to elaborate on my question a little bit more here, just for the sake of the listener. You know, Askarov and UC Soros has both been on this team for a number of years, or not. I know Askarov is not on the team, but in the organization at least. You drafted him to be the heir apparent, right? I mean, that's why you spent a first-round pick on a goaltender, and especially one that was highly touted as he was. So you had to know at some point that he was going to be your guy. You would think that's what you drafted him for anyway. And I understand that David Poile is no longer in charge. I totally get that. But let's not kid ourselves like David Poile's fingerprints aren't all over this organization. And let's not pretend like, Barry Trotz doesn't share somewhat of a similar vision as David Poile did. So the way I was asking this question, because it seems like they're at an awkward spot here that they've got to do something. And my thing is this: if both guys have been in the organization this long, how did we get here where things were awkward when you knew that a decision had to be made, all the way, years ago, essentially? And I guess the only follow-up is, okay, if David Poile's no longer here and Barry Trotz is now in charge, all right then, would David Poile have done this differently? Would the decision have been made differently? Would David Poile have traded UC Soros out of here by now so that this is no longer even a discussion, and done so in the middle of last year? So therefore we get here and we're not even having this debate.
I don't think so. That's why I think that this Mitch Korn hire is just blatantly obvious to me, that they've got to figure this out. You have to figure out. And even if you're not sure, you have to figure it out. Because like you said, you've invested a first-round pick. You knew when you took him, this is supposed to be the guy down the road.
If it goes well, this is what's supposed to happen.
We're 4 years in. It's not like this is he's 18 or 19 and we're like, okay, everybody relax.
Potential.
Right? Because we did that, right? We were like when he was 18 and 19, everybody relax because he was doing well in the KHL. Sure. And then he came over and he was this, he was making viral videos and doing all this crazy stuff. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, he's this guy. And it's like, relax, he's 19, or relax, he's 20. Okay, now we're getting to that age. It's like, okay, well, he may be ripe here soon enough, sooner rather than later. Now we're getting up there in that time frame where, okay, that development needs to start showing something one way or the other. And I think that's what the point of this is, to get Mitch Korn's eyes on him and to say, look, what is he? Is he a stud that's about ready to burst onto the scene in the next, year or even two, which is fine. We can wait. He can be the backup and we can patchwork this for a year or two.
Go with Likanen.
Or is this not going to be what we thought? Is this another Brian Finley pick? Which we all know it's not. It's not that. They have flamed out on first round picks at goaltender. Is this another flame out pick? I don't think they're anywhere near that level. And they say, look, this just isn't what we thought.
Yeah.
We got to punt. We just got to stick with Saros, and we have to punt. I just don't see that at all. But it still doesn't mean they're not there. It's not HD. The vision is not HD, I don't think. It's not in high definition.
It's
still blurry.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a final break, come back, wrap up the first hour next.
The Tennessee Lottery congratulates this year's graduates from all the colleges and universities across the state. Your achievements set the stage for a brighter tomorrow. We're happy to have helped along the way by raising more than $7 billion for education and funding over $1.9 million scholarships and grants, including Hope Scholarships, Tennessee Promise, and much more. Visit dionlottery.com to see how our proceeds support successful futures.
Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is at the heart of Music City. Located within walking distance of the Country Music Hall of Fame, Bar Lines at the Omni is your downtown honky-tonk destination. Watch your team from any seat on their plentiful HD TVs and catch a live show on the Bar Lines stage featuring live music 7 days a week. Bar Lines has the ultimate Southern comfort food. Get started with classic fried green tomatoes or bourbon barbecue wings. Then it's on to the massive Smashville double stack, or the world-famous Bar Lines grinder. Oh, you've never heard of the Bar Lines grinder? 2 kinds of cheese, lettuce, Dijon, smoked turkey, smoked bacon, smoked ham. Now that's some smoke you want. Local brews and local spirits are on tap at Bar Lines. Take a seat on the patio outside and soak up the rhythm of Music City. Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
When was the last time you did something fun with family, friends, coworkers, and clients? What if I told you about a place under one roof that offers affordable entertainment for all ages? That's what you'll find at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers in Donaldson, Hermitage, Tusculum, Hendersonville, and Murfreesboro, with bowling, games, food, drink, and entertainment for all ages. Enjoy an enhanced experience in Hendersonville or Murfreesboro, where they feature additional fun with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. All locations are open 7 days a week, including holidays. Visit online at strikeandspare.com. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
The battle for a 7th straight division crown is on, and the Braves are on a charge to bring it home to Atlanta.
Bounce up the middle, might get through. It does! Base hit! Rattle around third. Braves win! Austin Riley comes through with the winner.
Tonight, Austin Riley and your Atlanta Braves look for a big division win against the Washington Nationals at Truist Park.
Pre-game coverage begins at 6:05 p.m. live on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
The McFarland Show, broadcasting live in Rutherford County on 107.9 FM.
And in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. You can also listen to 95.9, by the way. All great options.
Mm-hmm.
Vanderbilt baseball tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Oh, okay.
They will take on
Early start.
Coastal Carolina. We may have the results by the time we take to the airwaves to wrap up the week.
We should.
Tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Well, it's college baseball. You never know.
That's true.
I know they've got clocks
They can go
now,
extras
but,
and stuff.
well, yeah. But, yeah,
That's a good point.
don't think they can still go longer than 3 hours.
No,
they can.
It's a good point.
So Vanderbilt and Coastal Carolina in the Clemson Regional.
Mm-hmm.
And that game can be watched on ESPN2 tomorrow.
Okay.
So ESPN2 tomorrow, Vanderbilt, Coastal Carolina. So hopefully we'll have a final for you before when we take to the airwaves. If not, we'll keep you abreast of the situation. Speaking of Vanderbilt, Patton Cook's a big Vanderbilt fan.
Yes, he is.
Today was his last day for the week, and I think next week too. I don't know how long he's out, but he is getting married.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Patton Cook. Well, soon to be. Congratulations.
Soon to be.
Like it hasn't happened yet.
Well, that's true.
They haven't done their I do's.
Things can happen.
Things can happen. We're not anticipating that.
I don't anticipate any problems.
Early congrats to Patton and his future wife. That's going to do it for hour number one. We'll switch gears. Steve Lehman next.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Vital repairs on the U.S. military floating pier off the coast of Gaza could take a week or longer. The Trident Pier was damaged due to rough seas. State Department briefing principal Deputy Spokesperson Vedant Patel on efforts to get aid into Gaza other ways.
We are continuing to work around the clock with partners in Egypt and Israel to do what we can to make sure other vital crossings are open and can open as swiftly as possible. Simultaneously, we're doing everything we can to repair and retrofit this pier here and make sure that it can be re-anchored as swiftly as possible as well.
Deliberations in the hush money criminal trial of Donald Trump now in its second day. Jurors have made no new requests today after getting a readback of testimony related to Michael Cohen and David Pecker in the trial. Boeing detailed plans to fix company-wide problems with manufacturing and safety practices. It follows aircraft incidents, including missing bolts that led to a door plug falling out mid-flight in January. This is ABC News.
From grown-worthy dad jokes to patching up skinned knees, your dad is one of a kind. Here's a Father's Day gift guaranteed to take him to his happy place, Omaha Steaks. Order mouth-watering gift packages starting at just $89 at omahasteaks.com with promo code QUALITY at checkout. Show your dad the love he deserves with an unconditional money-back guaranteed gift as unforgettable as he is. Visit omahasteaks.com, code QUALITY at checkout.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Attention business owners. WNSR has some exciting opportunities for your business to thrive in the dynamic world of sports radio advertising. As the proud home of some of your favorite sports teams like the Atlanta Braves, Memphis Grizzlies, and more, we understand the power of sports in bringing people together and creating a passionate community. We believe that your business can become an integral part of this experience, reaching a diverse and engaged audience. Contact the WNSR sales team for an opportunity to discuss how Nashville's sports radio can elevate your brand to new heights. Whether you're interested in a specific sponsorship package or would like a customized solution, we are here to meet your advertising needs. Call 615-844-1039. 615-844-1039 or email saleswnsr@gmail.com. That's saleswnsr@gmail.com.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Oh, righty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Oh, boy. Hour number 2 of the McFarland Show here in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Darren and Justin here with you. We are the McFarlands. DJ Damon is alongside. He's frisky today. He was off yesterday. He must have missed us terribly.
Giving words of wisdom. That's
yes,
what I do.
You
Batteries
are
recharged.
You're like Yoda.
Yeah. Like
and you didn't even laugh? Really? I just called Damon Yoda?
Which version of
you
Yoda is Damon?
More like Tupac.
Tupac? No, let's stop, please.
All right, let's get
please,
to
let's
Steve
go to the
Langman.
phones, please.
We were off the rails during the break, and I don't want to be off the rails.
We got to get to the line. Steve, save us.
Steve Langman.
My main man, Steve Langman.
Steve, what's up?
Guys, how you doing?
We're doing
much
fantastic.
better now. Much better now. I hear you, Steve. I'm doing a lot better.
Oh, it's smooth. We're back on the road again.
Yes. Man.
Too much off-roading during the break. So I'm going to start here. And I get it. You know, there's nothing wrong with building up confidence. But, Steve, listening to these receivers on this team and listening to the coaches and the staff on this team talking about Treylon Burks, I mean, they have evidently drafted a cross between Julio Jones in his prime, Calvin Johnson in his prime, A.J. Brown, T.O., Tim Brown, Jerry Rice, Justin Jefferson. I mean, the accolades and the comparisons. I mean, this guy's probably going to have a 2,000-yard season, don't you think?
You know what? I went from a moment of a couple weeks ago of thinking that Treylon Burks may have a chance to have a pretty impressive season because he's not going to have the pressure of being the guy. And he's got a new offense. It's going to be pass heavy, and all these other guys are going to take attention. So now thinking he has so much attention on him in the offseason that if he's not a first-team All-Pro, that it's going to be a disappointment. And obviously that's a little bit of hyperbole, but they are talking so much about him that now I almost feel like there is a level of pressure back on him to go out there and be really good for this team next year. When we all get to the games, obviously those first three guys are going to be where the focus is, and it really doesn't matter where the production goes or how it's distributed, just as long as there is consistent production from that position as a whole. I do think if he's healthy, Treylon Burks can be a piece of that, but let's settle down a little bit with the hyperbole and the compliments at this point, because the guy just has to be healthy and be ready for week 1 in September, and that's been a problem for him through 2 years. So let's back off a little bit, temper the expectations, and see what Treylon Burks can actually do if he can be available for most of the season.
Yeah, I'm going to try to make this a little bit more serious. I mean, and look, I was kidding around, but that's basically what they are saying. I mean, Calvin Ridley and DeAndre, I mean, they're just all just praise. So I guess in a serious question, does that mean they've drafted the right guy, as in the abilities and the makeup that he possesses, and it just hasn't translated yet? Is it the injuries? Is it a little bit of everything? We're in year 3 or going into year 3, and we haven't seen any, like, it has me going, who are you guys talking about? Like, I know you said this guy, Treylon Burks, but who are we talking about? Like, no one in this market has seen, I mean, he looks like more like Lavelle Hawkins right now. No offense to him. He was a great guy. He was a great guy to deal with. 4th-round pick from Cal.
Minding his own business.
I know,
his life.
but I'm just saying, like, his stats are like Lavelle Hawkins. They're not like Julio Jones in his prime. So why haven't we seen anywhere near what this coaching staff and these receivers are making him out to be?
Because of the availability piece. I mean,
Okay.
I do think last year, guys, in training camp, he looked like a different guy. He looked like a guy that was poised to be a number 1 receiver for that team. And then obviously he got hurt again early in the season, and then the concussion derailed everything at the end of the season for him. So you never got a chance to see if that could actually play out. I do think the new offense gives all of the wide receivers a chance to be more productive than they would have ever been in a Derrick Henry run-first offense here. And so there is something there. I do think the skill set is there for Treylon Burks to be a big-time NFL wide receiver. The question now is, can he erase what's happened in the first 2 years and keep himself upright and on the field to deliver any level of that production consistently for the team? And that's a question that only he and time will be able to tell. And he even said when we were talking to him yesterday, guys, he said, look, the concussion piece, that's just going to happen in the NFL, and you can't really control that. There's no off-season workouts that you can do that will make you immune to potentially having a concussion. But what I've spent this off-season doing is trying to make myself as strong and as healthy as possible in every other way, so there is no foot injury. There is no conditioning setback like he had as a rookie. There is no soft tissue issue or hamstring issue that he had last year. Those things he wants to eliminate. And if he can do that, the concussion piece, that's just unlucky. But if he can do that and give himself a chance to be out there for 16 or 17 games, then he has a chance to maybe show you full-time what we saw just bits and pieces of in glimpses last year during training camp.
All right, I got to do this on the air. Who was the clip that we played yesterday from OTAs? Justin, talking about the culture being different.
That was Chick Okonkwo.
Damon, can you quickly get that so we can? It's a very brief, because I want to give Steve my translation and then I want Steve's translation, because I know you know, but I want to play it again for the audience who didn't hear yesterday when we played it. Sorry, Damon, for putting you on the spot. Let's see if we've got it.
That's what I'm here for.
Okay, we got it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
And just allow people to be a lot more free in the locker room. I mean, we always were free in the locker room, but just a lot more free on the field. I think we're going to see a lot of that this year.
Do you have an example of that freedom? Just like how is that manifesting itself?
An example of it, I mean, just, coming in and I feel like just coming in and being yourself, not feeling like you need to, minimize yourself, what you're doing, just coming in and fully being you.
My translation yesterday, Steve, was, yeah, we're not walking on eggshells anymore. What was your translation?
I think that's completely fair. I think there always was a sense, and you probably even felt it when you were in the media there, that if you took the wrong step, there is a not zero likelihood that you're going to get embarrassed by the head coach or the old regime. And look, that's how a lot of NFL teams have operated over the last 50 or 60 years. It's certainly the way that Mike Vrabel operates. You've got to know your stuff. You've got to be ready. You've got to be prepared. And if you don't, you're going to embarrass yourself. And I think that sometimes can lead to an environment where it's very difficult to walk around there if you're not a star. If you're a guy who's trying to find his way, if you're a guy who's trying to find his spot on the roster. And I think I told you guys this last week. I don't know if Brian Callahan has started an answer about a player, no matter who the player is, from Will Levis to a guy who's fighting for a roster spot. I don't think I've heard him start an answer with something other than he's been really good or he's been really great to this point. And at some point that needs to change when we get into the season. He needs to be able to criticize. He needs to be able to talk about what guys need to do better. But at this point, when they're all still learning what the system is and they're getting used to who their coaches are and they're trying to catch up to speed, I think that can be a very healthy environment. That whether you're a veteran or whether you're a rookie, you're allowed to come in and make mistakes. You're allowed to learn on the fly. And hopefully you don't make the same mistake twice, but you have a chance to grow and truly show the coaching staff who you are. And I think that makes to an environment that Chigakonkwo just said right there, you don't feel like you're walking on eggshells. You can be more of yourself. You can show your personality. You can not be afraid to make a mistake. And I think that can be very healthy for a new coaching staff that's trying to implement a new system and gain the trust and the complete buy-in of the roster that they have.
It does seem like the page that they are all on, whether it's people in the front office, whether it's coaches, well, really the players in the front office. Those people were here last year under a different regime. The page that they're all on and seem to be very consistent with in their messaging is that things are completely different over there right now. And that's fine. And this is not the Titans are not the first organization to do that, right? That happens all the time whenever a staff has been blown out and a new staff comes in. And that's great. And maybe it's going to lead to a ton of success. But it also right now sitting in May, when they haven't played a single game, they have done nothing meaningful other than sign players and draft players. We have no idea. All that's great, but we have no idea if any of it is going to translate to victories or success.
Yeah, I think there is probably at least a 50-50 shot that this team walks away with fewer wins next year than they had last year. And I think this team is better. I think this team's roster is better. I don't particularly love the way the schedule shook out for them, and I think the division around them keeps getting better, and that's where most of your games are played. But we'll see in the fall what this translates to in terms of success on the field. I do very much think that it is startling because of who the Titans have always been. You often see guys where a team will make a coaching change, and they go from a guy who cracked the whip and was old school and it's a my way or a highway type of situation to a player's coach, or vice versa. You do the opposite of what just led you to the place that you decided you need to make a move. The thing that I think is startling in this case is essentially every coach the Titans have had was that old school player coach that this is a business, this is a profession, you're expected to do this, this, and this, and if you don't, we're going to have issues. That's Jeff Fisher, that's Mike Munchak, that's Ken Wisenhunt, that's certainly Mike Mularkey, and certainly Mike Vrabel. And so the idea now that they go to a little bit different of a style in a Brian Callahan who never played in the NFL, but is a new mind when it comes to offense, and certainly a new mind when it comes to dealing with players and being more of a player's coach, that's kind of a shocking thing when you walk into the facility, and it feels a little bit more loose, and it feels like guys can show their personality a little bit more.
Steve, yesterday on Titans social media, they released a clip of Brian Callahan coaching up the team and having a good time and all that with OTAs. But one of the things he said in that, he yelled out, "Nice ball, Malik." And my partner over here, Darren, was unsure who he was talking about. Like, who's Malik? Who? I was like, Malik Willis, the quarterback, played a few games. And, he's like, well, he's just been, out of sight, out of mind for so long. He completely moved on from Malik Willis as the idea of him being a quarterback on this football team and probably any other, on the planet here. And what I'm asking here, I never thought Malik Willis was going to fit into Ryan Tannehill's offense, which is essentially what they asked him to do. But now that he's in a newer offense with fresh eyes, it's a clip, it's OTAs. I understand. No one's wearing pads. I'm not confused, Steve. I understand what it is. But I'm just asking for the opportunity here. Perhaps he can get a new leash on at least offense, not a new leash on life, but a new leash on football with a brand new set of eyes on him and a brand new offense here that is not the one that he was brought in under.
In fairness, Steve, I said, oh, yeah. I forgot it. Yeah, that Malik. My bad.
Yeah, because there's so many.
We'll let that slide, Darren. I do think he has a new leash on life in the way that everybody else on the roster does as well. I think when you have a new coaching staff, you generally get a clean slate to prove what you can or cannot do. But that being said, I don't see how this offense, which is going to be more pass-heavy and more about what you can do in the pocket and how you manage that and how quickly you can make decisions to get the ball to the playmakers we're talking about at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how that makes Malik Willis's life easier or will accentuate the skill set that he does have at this point in the NFL better. So I don't think this is a better situation for him, but I do think this. I think he's going to find his spot in that building, whether it be as the third quarterback on the 53-man or as a guy who's a practice squad quarterback for them, because he is their draft capital. And if you get rid of that guy, even though it wasn't a Rand Carthon pick, it certainly wasn't a Brian Callahan pick, if you get rid of that guy, you're going to have to go pay a guy from somewhere else out there to come in and be that guy. And at the moment, Malik is cheap. And so they brought in Mason Rudolph to be the backup quarterback for this team at the salary that they brought him in for. It's a pretty decent bargain to be right behind Will Levis. I think Malik Willis is the third quarterback. And is he the best option in the world? No, but for the price point he is and the capital they've already used, I expect he'll be a part of this team when we come to September, even if that means just their practice squad quarterback still in the building.
All right, I want to switch sports here. I want to go to college baseball as we get started with that for the NCAA tournament tomorrow. And I want to ask you a sort of an outsider in question. Does Tony Vitello have to actually win an NCAA championship in order to be seen on the same level, or for Tennessee baseball to be seen on the same level or planet as Vanderbilt or as Tim Corbin, or in order to back up some of the things that he says and the way that they play? I feel like if we're Tennessee and they're the number one overall seed and all that, they got to win this thing or a thing at some point here. And they've won SEC championships, and that's great, but they haven't won the big title ever. And I just feel like I don't want to call it pressure, but in order for them to be seen in the light I think they want to be seen in, they need to win the big one. They need to win a national championship.
I think you're partially right there, Justin.
Okay.
In the sense that I think everybody in college baseball understands who Tennessee is right now. They are recruiting at a level that most teams are not. They are hitting the ball at historic paces seemingly every season. They are attracting flamethrower guys out of the bullpen. They can compete right now and basically in every year in the last few with anybody in America. And I think everybody understands that. When you are talking about the short list of best programs in America today, Tennessee baseball has to be in that conversation. But part of your question is compare what Tennessee and Tony Vitello is doing to what Tim Corbin and Vanderbilt is. And for that part of it is twofold. One, yes, eventually you have to win a national championship to be considered in a conversation with a program that has multiples in the last 10 years. But two, you have to do it for the longer haul. And I have no thoughts that Tony Vitello isn't staying at Tennessee or has other designs in mind, but you're really talking about a 3 or a 4-year window here where Tennessee has truly been in that elite category. You got to do it for a decade. You got to do it for 15 years. You got to do it for 2 decades to be in the conversation of Tim Corbin and Vanderbilt. Or you got to start getting to a place where you win 2 or 3 out of a 6 or 7 or 8 year span national titles. And so Tennessee's program is elite. Anybody who follows college baseball will tell you that. But to get to the truly great place where LSU of the past or Miami of the past or maybe now Vanderbilt and Tim Corbin is at, you got to win that national championship. And to piggyback off of something I think Darren brought up to me, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, he asked me the question, does either Tennessee softball or Tennessee baseball win the national championship or the field? And I said to you guys, I said, look, both of them have a legitimate shot to win it all this year. But I'm taking the field because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to do that. And guess what happened? The Tennessee softball team, as good as they were this year, and I think they were on par with Oklahoma and Texas this year, right there, the top 3 teams in the country that had a shot. They lost in the Super Regional. Guess what happened a couple of years ago when Tennessee baseball was as good of a team through 60 games, regular season, and SEC tournament as I can ever remember watching? They lost in the Super Regional. And if somehow this team, which again is the number 1 seed in the country, does not get to Omaha, I think there can be some real criticism for Tennessee and not living up to the moment under Tony Vitello when they've had some really excellent teams. So yes, the more they have these elite programs, the more the pressure builds to actually get to Omaha, make a run, and ultimately dogpile as the national champion.
Yep, Tennessee lost to Alabama, and one of the televisions on in here in our Strikers Bear Family Fun Center studio, Alabama just lost to UCLA in the College World Series, so they'll be having to work out of the losers bracket. So yeah, so you're right. I mean, already one Tennessee team has been crossed off the list, and you're right. It's hard. It's so hard. So it looks like the field probably will end up being the correct answer. Steve, really appreciate it as always. Thanks for doing this. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk soon.
All right, you guys, look out for those cicadas.
Yes, they're almost dead. Almost gone.
Almost.
Steve Lehman, News Channel 5. Good stuff from him. We're wide open the rest of the hour if you want to get involved. 615-844-5600. That's our phone line and our text line. We've made it easy for you to get involved in the show, and you can do so, and we welcome that as you listen to the McFarland Show on WNSR.
Paramount Roofing and Exteriors, LLC, is proudly saluting our troops and veterans. Their tireless efforts should never go unnoticed. This message is brought to you by Paramount Roofing and Exteriors, LLC, serving Middle Tennessee. For all of your roofing, siding, window, door, and exterior needs, give the pros a call today at 615-635-1790. 615-635-1790. That's Paramount Roofing and Exteriors, LLC. AJ and the staff are professionals who care.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up, and if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days, all in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
Call 800-527-4903. That's 800-527-4903. 800-527-4903. Again, 800-527-4903.
Paid for by Airtime Media.
Do you ever feel like gambling is causing financial strain or hurting your relationships? The Gambling Clinic has been helping people who want to change their gambling habits for over 2 decades. With physical clinics and remote online appointments, we're here to help you make informed decisions about your gambling so it doesn't lead to a bigger problem. Visit us at thegamblingclinic.com so we can work together to help you win your life back. This project is funded by the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
All this has been great so far for Rand Carthon. Like, this offseason has been a really good offseason for the Titans. I mean, they really have knocked it out of the park here in the last week, right? I mean, Calvin Ridley, this trade, obviously landing Cushenberry.
Yeah.
Everything that they've done really has been really good.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Don't forget, week 2 in full effect for George Plaster and friends. Coming up after this show.
Yes.
And we call you our friends as well. And we'd love to talk to you.
We do.
You know, if I could do my George impression. Look, let's load up the lines. Let's get involved here in the show. I got a couple of lines open for you. 615-844-5600. That's how you get in touch with us. Let's hear from you. Come on.
You don't know how much you sound just like...
Come on, Nashville.
Oh, man. I have
I'm
fun.
waiting for George to call up here at some point. Like, hey, man. We get it. Okay,
no, we're
going
to play a game called Guess Who is George? Is this the real George? Is this the other?
No, it's not that good.
It's not that good.
It's
I don't know.
He's
okay.
pretty good. He's pretty good.
It's not that
It's
good.
pretty tight.
But, you know, have you heard some other ones?
No.
Yeah, okay. You need to hear some other
Ingram.
ones.
Ingram is good.
Yeah. All right. See, it's working. Okay, there's another one. Damon, let's get that one. And one more. We've got one more available at 615-844-5600. Let's hear from you, Nashville.
Let's hear from you.
He doesn't do that.
Nashville.
He doesn't do that.
No, he doesn't.
That was me just
I'm
throwing
about to
that
say,
in
you're
there.
just throwing see, that's how you get caught.
See, I got caught up in the character.
You get caught like that. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I know.
what?
He doesn't
What?
do that.
What?
I did that. Let's go to Doug. Doug. What's up, Doug?
Hey, man, you know, with about 15 minutes of preparation, you could beat Ingram out. I think you just pulled that one out of your hat like karaoke, and you knocked it out pretty good.
I'm working on it. I'm refining it. It's been a while, and now
I don't think it worked.
You know,
I think you just did it. It was not work. If you would have had about 15 minutes of thought, you'd have knocked Ingram out of the park.
Man.
Wow, that's
high praise.
That is
15
high
minutes.
praise.
What is 15 minutes of thought going to do? It's like,
Well, getting
yourself in
character.
the mental
getting
space.
character, man.
oh, okay.
15 minutes
Well,
of thought.
He was just carelessly just spitting one out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
It
off
was
the
just
top,
off
man.
the top.
That's
yeah.
live
So
radio,
an extra
Damon.
practice,
Freestyle.
You were going to be
Freestyle.
Oh, wow.
Just
George Plaster
Yeah,
freestyle.
Just a freestyle.
I tell you, I get that reference all the time. There's McFarland freestyling again.
Freestyling plaster.
Well, I appreciate you, George McFarland, for bringing us to the
Oh,
excitement
Lord.
and the entertainment.
Yeah,
So,
it's
thank
my
you, Mr.
father,
George
but thank you.
McFarland. The reason I called is because, you know, I appreciate this sports show for having a plethora of different varieties of sports that they talk about. And yesterday, when you were talking about travel ball, and the King asked me how my Memorial Day weekend went, and I told him it was different for the first time in a long time, not on a travel ball baseball field. And I just stopped a minute ago, watched Midland and 5-Star play some ball. Didn't have a dog in the hunt, just try to get that itch out. But yesterday when you told your story about how you guys met some big boys and how kids are looking different, it reminded me of East Cobb, Georgia, when we went to play East Cobb. And
East Cobb Orange.
Alabama and Auburn were the children of these players. You know, we were just a ragtag team and came in second. But again, the way you sprinkle that in for people like me that have enjoyed baseball and young baseball and, you know, Major League Baseball, you guys don't miss any bases. You cover them all. Appreciate that.
Well, thank you. Where did you see 5-Star Midland? Where were you watching that?
I pulled in at Friendship Christian High School.
Really?
Yeah, just pulled up.
That's awesome.
A friend of mine is a photographer. He just said, I said, where you at? He said, I'm at Friendship getting ready for 5-Star, do some photography. There in a minute. Just pulled up.
That's awesome. That is great.
Yeah, so thank you for sprinkling in those episodes and enjoy them. I'll tell you as a parent, enjoy it. Take pictures. Have someone that's taking pictures because it's going to be a day, you know, Dad.
I'll be just like you, Doug. I know.
You'll be a fan. You'll be an excellent fan. So get some pictures. And then in Florida, I asked my son, how did he feel? He says, different. I said, yeah, it is, but we've had some good memories. And thank you for traveling us all over the South and Boston and Texas and Georgia and Indianapolis and spending every dime that I got so we could have fun and have some memories. It's cool, man.
Doug, I think we're going to need to break bread over lunch one day and share travel ball stories.
You know what? What made travel ball special is that we had something for them to do away from the game.
Mm-hmm.
Mix that in at this age. Just mix it in. I don't care if it's a pool, a visit at an aquarium. Mix something in so the boys can just be boys.
Yep.
My opinion.
Well said.
You know, we were a group that stayed together from 6 on. So the parents were pretty much the ones that orchestrated, the mothers orchestrated the activities. Somewhere to get ice cream, even a Subway sandwich at a place. We went to an aquarium. Of course, there's always the pool after the game. Enjoy those days. And if you can mix in the siblings that are younger or older, it's all a part of it, man. So thank you for those episodes of stories that you tell. And don't think East Cobb is the dog. We came in second. We busted them in the mouth.
Nice.
We ran out of pitching. And that's when, at that age, we knew that we had something special. Fast forward, second in Dixie Youth World Series.
Nice.
Enjoy the ride. Appreciate the show.
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it. Yeah, it is. And we have done that. Thank goodness. We did Savannah Bananas. Last year as a group, everybody, all the families, and sat together, and we had a blast that night over at First Horizon.
Yeah.
And obviously the trips have been very, very memorable, and hopefully Cooperstown, gosh, it's coming up in July.
Soon. Coming quick.
Cooperstown in July is going to be one that hopefully these boys and families, everybody remembers for the rest of their life. I'm excited. I've never been to Cooperstown.
Man.
I'm very, very excited.
Sounds like
to go the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, absolutely.
The induction is going on the week that we're there.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to be able to go to that. I don't think so, but we're going to get to go to the Hall of Fame. But yeah, I can't wait.
That sounds really cool.
Cannot wait. All right, let's go back to the phones. Eric is up next. Eric, welcome in.
Hey guys, I just wanted to say yesterday, really enjoyed your guest talking about the pro football and OTAs and preseason games. Because guys, I am old enough to remember there was 6 preseason games. In fact, it was 1978. They changed from 6 preseason games to 4, and that's when they first went to a 16-game schedule. It was back in 1978. And I also remember
what were they 14? Were they 14 at the time?
Yeah, it was 14 games. Then it went to 16. They took the 2 preseason games, went from 6 to 4, and made the regular season 16 games. And not only that, guys, of course, you tell you how much preseason had changed. It used to be back in the day that players from the first preseason game, the last preseason game, whether it was 6 or when it was 4, they would start them like for a few series in the first preseason game, and the next one they may play them like a whole quarter, and like about the 3rd preseason game they play them in a half. Then by the 4th preseason game they play them a half to end the 3rd quarter. By the 5th preseason game they would play them entire 3 quarters to like early in the 4th quarter, and then by the 6th preseason game they played them entire game, trying to get the players ready in condition. Of course, it's not like that anymore, but that's basically the way they did the preseason back in the day. I don't understand the players. I mean, you don't have to report for OTAs. because it's not mandatory. And I would think they would not want a longer training camp. Some people said they would do that, but if I'm a player, what about the breaks in between? If you want to have time to spend, like you've got family, got kids, spend vacation with them. If you move that up, of course, June, a lot of kids are not getting out of school until around about Memorial Day or something like that. It'd be hard to kind of schedule and go on vacations if you're doing that report to training camp in early June now. I guess I don't know how they'll figure that out.
Well, I'd say football really doesn't have a leg to stand on. It's the shortest sport of any of the professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, if you don't make the playoffs, you're free in January. So I mean, you got all kinds of time to do a family vacation. I think what's interesting is what they're now proposing. I suspect if they're throwing it out there, that means it's headed that direction.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like OTAs are about to be a thing of the past, and they're just going to make things start in early July.
Yeah, just go straight through.
And take it straight through, right?
Yeah.
Instead of late July.
And of course, the big thing now, of course, you're going to have that another game where 18 game schedule where you're going to go to 2 preseason games. And there are some people, of course, I don't think it's going to happen. Then they're going to say, well, why don't we get both preseason games, just have a 20-game regular season, which
I think it could very easily happen.
It's coming. It's coming.
I think it
they'll
very
be down
easily
to,
could happen.
They'll be down to 2 preseason soon. You watch.
I mean, I know, but I don't want to guys go to 20 regular season games from this perspective. One is, I just think, to me, football is diluted as it is. And definitely, if they do that, I think you've got to do something and expand the rosters. And I think definitely they're going to probably have to have a second bye. They actually did that one year. I forget what year it was, but I think when they did the bye,
they will.
I think it was early. It wasn't the first year, but it may have been like the second or third year of buys. They did actually 2 weeks of buys. But then you also have to be careful because you don't want to have too many teams off because, just not that many quality football games. But also heard something this season. I forget what it was. I think they were saying that there was like almost half of the schedule this season, if I'm not mistaken. There's only like about 3 games in like the 325 window, which I think that's insane. Where you've got like half of the schedule with that's occurring. That's why I'd heard that I guess it was like 8 or 9 weeks that in the 325 window you only have like 3 games. I understand you want to have a lot of noon games, but I would think maybe you'd want to dilute that or something like that.
Well, it's not just noon, Eric. It's not. What's happening is they got all these overseas games now. So now we're going to have that Sunday morning at 8 o'clock game a lot this season. So you're going to be waking up to a live football game rather than just watching pregame shows. So that's going to be a factor. They're trying to spread things out and get more just standalone.
Yeah.
More primetime games.
More standalone games where everyone can watch and participate at the same time instead of watching 3 to 4 different games. I think is what they want. And plus, here's the other thing, Eric. And this is about money. The less games you have, the more money you can charge for commercials for said game, because the more eyeballs you're able to attract to that one particular game for national ad buys and things like that. And this is what they'll do to replace those preseason game, Eric. They'll have scrimmages. They'll bring in another team from some, if we're going to do a full month of training camp or 2 months of training camp, cool. We'll just bring another team from across the country somewhere, and we'll scrimmage for 3 days. Problem solves. That solves your preseason. That makes sure your guys aren't so angry they're ready to kill each other by the end of the camp. You run a couple of scrimmages. You don't have to air them. You don't have to give away your game plans. You can just do it all in-house and let it go with that.
Yeah, but one of the things, unfortunately, guys, I do hate is, of course, now with all the streaming services, like the 2 Christmas Day games on Netflix, the Black Friday game, I think that's on like Amazon, and games on Peacock and playoff games, and eventually, of course, it is coming to where you're going to have that on Super Bowl. You got a pay-per-view to get it, and unfortunately, I don't have the disposable income to do all that, but I know all that's coming too. That's, to me, is one of the sad things about it. Guys, I'll get off. Y'all take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it. Yeah, they're going to go to 18. And then they'll go to 2. It'll be 2 preseason games and 18 regular season games. I suspect
they'll do that for a little while.
Once you get to 18, you got to do 2 bye weeks. Again, that just keeps spreading. They're just trying to also spread the season out. I mean, it's going to go longer and longer. I think before you know it, Super Bowl is going to be probably into February.
Possible.
Rather than, what is it right now? I guess it's the first week.
Well, first week of February.
So maybe the 3rd week of February is coming soon.
Very easily.
End of February.
Very easily.
Yeah, I just think they're going to keep spreading it. Or they start a little bit earlier. Maybe they start Labor Day weekend.
Step on college football a little bit.
Well, I don't have to step on college. I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. That weekend has kind of been them.
Yeah.
That weekend's kind of been them.
They've kind of conceded that weekend because they used to start around Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
They've kind of
You're
let
right.
college football have that late August, early September.
Sunday games, Monday games on Labor Day, or
And then
one or two.
They've let all that go.
Yeah.
The NFL, they've let all that go and given it to college football for whatever price they paid or whatever backroom deal was worked out or wherever they did. But they've decided to let that go. So I don't know. But I do think 20 games are coming, and I think that the scrimmages that we're already accustomed to. It is not strange for us to get on the air across the league and talk about scrimmages at all. We all know what scrimmages are at this point.
Well, practices.
Yeah.
They've labeled them as they're practicing with another team.
Joint practices.
Joint practices, yeah.
Sure, fine.
Right.
But they'll just do it that way. They'll make their evaluations that way and then just move on.
Yeah. I don't know if they get to 20. I'm certainly not going to say they're not, because it's all about the money. And so, if they want to do that, then they will, because the money will be there, and they'll just keep lining up everybody's pockets. And if you get to 20 games, then we're clearly talking about a Super Bowl end of February, beginning of March.
And what would happen? Would nothing? People would watch it.
Of course they would.
Just the same.
It's not going to change anything.
Wouldn't change anything.
What's going to happen with preseason games? I mean,
what about told you they're going to?
They would have joint practices.
Joint practices.
They're going to go to 2 preseason games tops, or 1. I don't know, or 1. If they get to 20 games, do they go to 1 preseason game? I don't know.
Maybe. But I still
a dress rehearsal.
I still think they'll do the joint practice thing and forget. Make it a closed practice, and invite some people to a stadium, season ticket. I don't know, but I don't think they'll make all that effort. But or maybe just not have them do college football style, which I don't see that maybe. But I still think the joint practices is probably what they'll do.
All right, we'll take. And by the way, I'm surprised college hasn't changed that yet. Because
stay tuned.
Well, right, because they're getting paid, so now they can justify. Oh yeah, we can do a couple preseason games. All right, you're getting your money.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break. 615-844-5600 is how you get in touch with us. You're listening to The McFarland Show right here on WNSR.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by 2 words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right?
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIFT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code LIFT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIFT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFT.
And now, Kingdom Doors is proudly saluting the brave men and women in blue who work tirelessly to protect and serve our communities, especially our police and sheriffs. This message is brought to you by Kingdom Doors. For custom garage door installations, service, and repairs, give the pros a call today at 615-810-6415, 615-810-6415, or visit kingdom-doors.com. That's Kingdom Doors. They're professionals who care.
It's JB and the General.
You know, I'll do my Stugatz weekend observations. Stugatz from the Dan Levitard show. Patton, beep. One thing is sure. Beep. Actually, beep. Two things are sure. Beep. Tennessee is going to the Final Four. Beep. And the Nashville Predators, beep, are winning the Stanley Cup.
Oh.
Beep. Those are my two observations. How about that?
Weekdays 9 to 11, live on WNSR.
The McFarland Show, streaming live on the WNSR app and on WNSR.com.
The Southeastern Conference has been meeting down in Destin, Florida. They always meet in a nice place. So they have put out that Oklahoma and Texas, which will be the first Red River rivalry shootout or Red River rivalry matchup between those two in this conference.
Yes.
It is going to be played on October the 12th. It'll be at 2:30 our time and shown on either ABC or ESPN. My guess is probably ABC. That's my guess. Or both. No, not both.
Not both.
Not both. Probably on ABC. But they're saying ABC or ESPN. This is coming from the conference.
Okay.
Mississippi State and Ole Miss will be played on Friday, November 29th at 2:30 on ABC.
Okay.
Georgia Tech, Georgia will be played on Friday, November 29th as well. 6:30 kickoff on ABC.
All right.
So how about that? A
There we go.
back-to-back, a doubleheader on ABC on that's Black Friday, right? I'm assuming?
November 29th? No.
No?
Can't be. Well,
why not?
It could be. I don't think it is, though. Then we can check it out. It probably. Yeah, I think about it. We'll find out here.
Okay. And the SEC championship game will be December 7th, and that will be a 3 o'clock kickoff our time, also shown on ABC. And that's the first time it's been shown on ABC since 2000. How about that?
Yes, it will be the 29th is Black Friday. You're right.
Okay.
It is 29th. The thing I wonder about Texas, Oklahoma, are they keeping the game in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl, or are they moving that game back to a campus? Because wasn't that game played on a neutral site?
Which game again?
Texas, Oklahoma.
Well, it's always played in Dallas.
Yes. Are they keeping it in Dallas?
It's in
okay.
Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, it says in the release it's in Dallas.
Okay. All right. That was the thing I was wondering.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all.
Cotton Bowl.
Yeah. All right.
I've been there.
No. All right.
It's
I've been there too.
Old stadium.
It was when I was there was no game going on, but I've seen it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there was a game going on there when I was there. It just wasn't football. It was a hockey game.
Hockey game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's go to Tony in Nolensville. Tony, what's up?
Hey, Tony.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Good show today, once again. Just want to let y'all know that.
Thanks. We're
Enjoy
proud of it
listening.
today. Yeah.
Something that hadn't been touched on much this week, and sad to see it, but in the women's PGA golf, Lexi Thompson is stepping down and retiring at the end of the year.
Heard that.
At 29 years old.
Yeah.
She's one of the few American golfers that was, really competitive and can compete with the Asian and those type of golfers on the circuit. So, and she cited some mental illness issues. So I hope she gets all that worked out and gets everything taken care of. But it's going to be she was awful fun to watch on the tour, that being as competitive as she was on the women's tour when I did watch some of
Tony, I got a
events.
trivia question for you. Not to change the subject, but but here goes. I was looking at this stat today. Do you know who the top 2 leaders in the NCAA this year in Division I with hits in baseball? Do you know who it was? With 96 and 95 hits?
Austin Peay was one.
Well, I'm saying this is individuals.
Oh, individuals?
Yep. John Gazdar. John Gazdar.
John Gazdar and
Clayton
was
Gray.
it Miller Green?
Nope, Clayton Gray.
Wow.
How about that?
You know, it's so sad that it just goes all over me, Darren, to know how good that team was.
I know, it
there,
didn't make
that
it. I
they're
know.
Missing.
Yeah.
People are, they were going to be placed in the Knoxville region.
Probably.
And it was going to be so fun to see them and Tennessee play each other if they did match up, which I think they would have. But, you got to win.
Yep.
And like you say, Darren, I love the way you said, it's hard to win.
It is.
Hard. It's very hard.
It's hard. And speaking of winning, shout out once again, it just means more. Auburn's golf team wins a national championship yesterday, beating, was it Ohio State?
Ohio State's who put Vanderbilt out. Yes.
Right. And Auburn wins the national championship in golf yesterday, their first title ever in men's golf. So, once again, another sign that it just means more. And, guys, y'all were talking about all these different schedules and games. When Darren and Justin,
yes, sir.
It wouldn't surprise me. What I really think is eventually coming on the collegiate level, especially Division I, is a spring game. Instead of all these different type of spring practices, that they start having a spring game. And
they have a spring game, but it's just inter-squad scrimmage.
Intramural.
So you're talking about against somebody else. Yeah.
Somebody.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And now with all the money that's going to be floating around, all the money that's out there, I think it's a way that they can look at making some money.
Yep.
It wouldn't surprise me one bit to see that come about, and probably sooner than, we're talking about it today. Hell, it might happen within the next year or two.
No, I don't think that's far-fetched at all.
No, I don't either.
At all, that's true.
Because you know what the
Hey,
networks
guys,
would do?
Y'all be careful going home.
The networks would
Thanks for
say,
taking my call today.
Thanks, Tony.
Networks would be like, yes, please. We'll sign up for that. Yes, please.
Yeah, I would agree. Although I don't know if it's going to be in the spring, I can see one of those games in.
Why not?
In early August, though.
Oh no, I could see the spring game turning into literally a spring game. Doesn't count, but the networks will show them.
Yeah.
Sell tickets.
I agree with you, Darren.
I'm not saying people won't show up for it. I know people will show up for it. I'm just trying to figure out.
They show up for the scrimmage.
Sure, I understand. I'm just trying to figure out, why wouldn't you do that in August though? Leading up to the season and give your fans.
Well,
a
you
little
don't want
bit of
anybody to get injured.
Well,
in the fall.
No, see, you're still thinking about and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's the old way of thinking now. Is injuries and stuff. If you're playing preseason ball in the NFL, they play preseason ball and they do it vanilla, with vanilla, and
injuries
guys
still
get
happen.
hurt.
Yeah.
Injuries happen or not. The guys play training camp. The injuries happen.
All right, we'll take our final break. Come back and wrap up Thursday's edition of the McFarland Show next here on WNSR.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
There aren't any cops around.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
Hey, I can hold my liquor.
I drink and drive all the time.
If you put away some drinks, put away your keys. Fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
The Omaha Steaks semi-annual sale is here. Get 50% off site-wide and save on mouth-watering favorites today. Go to omahasteaks.com and shop the semi-annual sale, where you can load up on all the delicious flavor you crave at half the price. And when you use promo code SIZZLE at checkout, you'll get an extra $30 off your order. Save big on delicious, tender, juicy steaks, big, beefy burgers, and so much more. With Omaha Steaks, the possibilities are endless. Endless flavor and endless value. Every purchase is backed by their unconditional money-back guarantee. Simply go to omahasteaks.com and shop the semi-annual sale today. And don't forget to use promo code SIZZLE at checkout to get an extra $30 off your order. Hurry, because this deal won't last long. Kickstart your spring grilling today. That's omahasteaks.com. Promo code SIZZLE at checkout. Minimum purchase may apply. Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Stirring fiber, exercising, frequent trips to the store for more laxatives and fiber. Sounds like your constipation with belly pain is a lot to manage. But if your symptoms that keep coming back are signs of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LANZESS.
Buyandtow.com. Get cash for junk cars. You have a vehicle that's become a problem? You can get cash in your hand today and your vehicle hauled away. They'll buy your vehicle no matter the condition, in your driveway, at your mechanic shop, or even on the side of the road. You can call them at 615-480-6473 or visit buyandtow.com. Get cash in your hand today and your vehicle hauled away. 615-480-6473. Buyandtow.com. That's buyandtow.com.
Atlanta Braves baseball is back, and the battle for a 7th straight division title is officially on.
Hit high and deep to left center. This has got a chance. Gone! Another home run for Olsen. He smokes another one. He lit the fuse on this bomb, and that's gone.
Listen to every pitch live, exclusively on your home for Atlanta Braves baseball. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Thank you, big voice guy. Fun show today. Appreciate Alex Doherty from the Tennessean joining us, talking a little Brads. We had Steve Lehman from News Channel 5 talking about the Titans. In fact, during that interview, you said, and it got me, and I was like, huh. And look, I don't proclaim to know all of the sayings. You said a new leash on life.
Yeah.
And I've always called it a new lease on life. So I Googled it during one of the breaks because I'm like, have I been saying that wrong? And there is a lot of people asking the same, is it leash on? And Steve said leash on life. And there are a lot of people asking, is it leash on life or lease on life? And according to the Google machine, they're saying it's lease on life.
Okay. Let me tell you why we might say leash.
Yeah.
There is an animal organization that ends up giving new lives to pets, and they call themselves New Leash on Life, and we say it quite a bit in the media.
Is this on television?
Yeah, in the TV world, and so it's probably slipped into my
TV
vernacular.
Justin came through.
Probably.
And the TV guy, Steve, backed you up.
They do a lot of stuff.
I think
that's
it's new
TV
lease
thing.
on life, though.
Well, at this TV world, it's leash.
Okay.
Only because we've said it a lot.
But on Google, it's lease.
So we got to go by Google.
Well,
in radio.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes, okay.
No, I just thought it was interesting.
No, it is.
I wanted to know. I really did.
I'm sure there's the right way to say it. And lease, I'm sure, is it.
I wanted to see if I was like, have I been saying this wrong?
No, because leash doesn't really make a lot of sense when you're talking about humans, and lease do. So it makes sense.
We're going to do lease on life tomorrow.
All right. We do have a new lease on life tomorrow. We'll wrap up the week. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Stay tuned, everybody. George Plaster Show is coming up next.